Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're doing something slightly different for the time lapse. As you can no doubt see, we're doing a time lapse for the work because this is kind of grindy, and yeah, we had tons that we had to do. Like I can show you, we mined a lot of netherrack. We actually had stuff in our inventory that we didn't necessarily need, that I realized afterwards we can get rid of, but it's like, what do we do now? That is what constantly happened. So basically we might do another one, but it'll depend on how people feel about it. I'll probably be continuing on this Nether project because the Nether Hub is what we need, and oh my word, is it tedious to actually make the Nether Hub. I can tell you that one for free. So this guy was in the tunnel. I love the fact that the Endermen spawn in the Nether as well, and we got an eye. So that staircase we had to move eventually, but as you can see I kind of had to jump around and mishmash things, and that's why I show a little bit of a chair at the start. It's like, ooh, what will we do next? So we go and we take a look at our netherrack supply and throw away the netherrack that we can smelt, because we're going to use it, and then it's like later on you'll see we swap that out, but that is for the future. And I get annoyed by this ghast, so I go, you know what, I'm going to show you who's boss. There we go. And it was pretty much easy, which is perfectly fine, but I was trying to sort out the blocks here and the staircase, and this is kind of the difficult side. I have to grind to do this project, but that's okay. I'm like, ooh, I can't reach, and then I'm like, oh, I'm on the staircase. Oh well, I guess we'll move up. There we go. That kind of fixes things, as I'm sure you can tell. Yeah, so I'm slowly swapping between different aspects of the Nether Hub projects, because we need to finish all of the paths, as you can no doubt understand. But I feel like I'm completely slow, and for that reason this is pretty much slightly tedious. And for that reason it's kind of better to look back at it and go, ooh, I should have done this, I should have done that. I should have probably gotten way more glass and just finished this off in one go, but as you can see, we grab the stairs, and then there gets a funny side. Then there is a funny side, not gets a funny side. Yeah, I couldn't English. So here we go. You'll hear it a second. And yes, it's the ghast. And then I realize, slabs and stairs don't get destroyed by the ghast blasts. That's perfect. Ooh. But better get back to work, because I'm trying to actually do this. Yeah, we do finish off the outside, but not the glass. We're not quite there yet. And for that reason, it's probably going to take me ages to finish this Nether Hub project. But that's something we'll deal with, I suppose. Now I go, ooh, let's see where he is. Okay, he's to the left. And then we can just send it back and finish him off. Perfect. The next thing that we end up doing is starting to clean out paths and things like that. I have no idea where these blocks lead to yet, so I'm like, ooh, let's just go down a bit and take a look if we can see any further. And the answer is a no, but take a look as we go back. That is the funny side. I have the weirdest luck, but there's a ghast right here. Take out the sword, gotta be ready. And he's just like, no, I don't mind you. The second one's also going, oh, I don't really mind you being here. Go ahead, run around. So we head on forwards. And I'm like, ooh, I can actually go up the stairs there. It would be silly to jump up there. But yeah, it's kind of tedious and we have to do a lot of work, but that's okay. And then we kill these guys and get a few of their magma slime thingies. I think it's magma slime. I will take a look at the name later and probably go, oh, it was this and that. And here I show off. I like to just actually go up to them. It's actually quite fun. And if you're enjoying yourself, why not do it over and over? So we get back to the usual grind, but as you can start seeing, we're going to start the new project after we've dropped everything off. And the reason for that is, as you will tell in a moment, we actually need more iron. And I'm just going, ooh, what do I put in here? I think we should have enough iron, so let's just go get the other blocks, is what I tell myself. So we start to collect materials that we need. And you can see this white stained glass there that I should have used. And I'm just like, oh, we could have kept the gas tiers and gunpowder and stuff, but I was like, let's just throw it away. So I look through all of these and I get everything that we need. As you can see, 30 furnaces, I don't need to make another one. But here we start the debate for the smeltery. This is the second version of the smeltery, and this is going to be the finished version. We're going to take the one out of our garden. I lay out the first few, and then I take a look at this little pit and the gap, and I go, actually we should move it over one. And then I'm like, wait, afterwards, yes, it should actually go 2 over, because then it fits in the middle correctly. And the next thing that comes up is we're going to need to stick hoppers on, and that's why I'm going, oh, so the back will send in what we use to smelt it, coal, etc, etc, and you'll see later we also use other materials because we can renew some of the materials. And as you can see, like I said, there we see no iron. Oof. And for that reason, it's kind of slightly sad. The next thing that we head off to do while checking for iron is we have to go a different direction. So I just think about it a bit and go, where do we have ore? We might have it in the smeltery, and we do. So let's just continue. And I used as much of the iron as we had, as you can see. And then it's the next step, which obviously is moving these chests over, because I want to make them all head into the same side. And I didn't realize there weren't hoppers above that. I wasn't smart. And there we go, the chest. So we'll move these chests just over, because that is going to be our coal supply. We can just chuck coal in there. So we take a look at it for a little bit, and then we think about it. What is the next thing that we should do? The next thing is we should probably start hiding some of it. And for that, we're going to lay out a different style. Potentially, I happen to choose stairs and things like that. Just let me know what you think I should build around this, because it looks slightly silly on its own when you see it in the final form. But that's okay. And there we go. Because we're going to need to set up the rail line there, we're going to just put it as a block. It's kind of silly to do that, but that's okay. And there we go. We can get stone slabs. Perfect. So now, obviously, it's the next step. I just think about it. What do we do for this layout? And I go, ooh, you know what? We're just going to make this flow around, I suppose. I was debating the word wrap, but flow around. There we go. This is kind of slightly difficult, but now you can see one of the other resources we use. sticks. We have so much wood resources that we've got the wood farm, if I can speak English. So it's basically, let's just try and get as many resources as possible. And for that reason, we end up throwing a lot in here. That's okay for us. We kind of needed that. The next thing, we need to start the actual rail line. And as you'll see slightly later, I have a slight difficulty on said rail line because I'm going, ooh, how do I put this? And then I put something there and it breaks it and then I have to redo things. But yeah, you'll see in a moment. I kind of just decided it should be one cart running over because I can make multiple carts, but then I'd have to do a circular track. And I feel like that doesn't really count. And I don't want the half slabs at the bottom of those. We don't need redstone there completely. We can sort that out for ourselves. But yes, as you can see, he needs to go up. And you'll take a look in a moment. I must say, recording it this way, I'm probably not going to do the next building like this, because this was editing like 4.5 to 5 hours of video and getting snippets and checking snippets, and there's just a little pause where I'm going to be slightly delayed talking from when it actually shows, and for that reason it's a slight disaster, but that's okay. We can survive. We're almost getting to the third mark. I said quarter and I'm like, wait, no. We've passed the third mark actually, but yeah. See, as you can tell, I'm going, ooh, what do I do here? So, I'm not smart. We should use rails. Obviously. That obviously works. Yeah, I'm slightly sad about that, but we deal with it, because you can understand it's slightly sad, but we'll just suck it up and actually do what we need to. On the other side of this, when I had to put the rail there afterwards, it was actually the same thing. The next step is obviously to actually start our redstone, because we need to make a little, I suppose we call it roundabout, a little addition to the redstone. But as you'll see, first we just quickly do some of the rails, and thinking about it afterwards, I was like, ooh, we actually don't have the hoppers, but we can place one rail, so we might as well, more or less. And you can see I'm just debating it, and you'll see I have all of those moments over and over. But there we go. We're going to make it go up and turn back. But thinking about it, it's like, ooh, how do we do that? Guess we're going to need more blocks. And it might as well be redstone that we stick there, because we need to power that rail, as you can no doubt tell. Get a point to climb up on, that makes it easier, and perfect. Now, what we do is not really interesting, but I don't know why I put the stone bricks in there. I was just like, why did I even do that? Well, the next thing that we're going to need is for that turnaround signal that I shared, because you saw we had a rail here, a detector rail, and as I start placing it, I'm like, you know what, let's just take it all down, where I could have just taken away 3. I take it all and I'm like, oh, I should just put it there, and there we go. Pick up the hopper, or select the hopper rather, and go through. The funny side of this project is I wanted to make a fast smelter, and I figure I'll try this recording style for a time lapse, but I do not think I'm going to do it again because it's going to be way out of sync now. So I need to talk about things faster than they actually happen. And for that reason, I'm going to have a slight pause. Next up, we start the chests. But first, we need to get space in our inventory because we kind of have stuff here that's taking up too much space, more or less. But we need to start actually using the smelter as well, because this is for the Nether Hub project. So we literally need to set up the smelter. So we're going to have to start on the next few steps, but first, take a look where we head. It's obviously to King Chicken Jr., who doesn't have his crown yet. I really need to sort that out and sort out his throne. But we grab it, and I'm like, ooh, whenever I do something, I do it extra, and I'm like, I should put that back. There we go. Now, we're going out to get something else for ourselves. And what do you think that is? As you can no doubt understand, I have no idea why I put the pickaxe in my offhand. I was just like not concentrating and not paying attention to what I was doing. But as I'm sure you can understand, we're flying away to find things, and today this happened to be iron. Yes, the iron farm is running, but it's still at the slow level. We need to slightly adjust it and make it take more villagers on each side, because then we can maximize the iron golems. Currently it's at the minimum, and the minimum is too slow. And as you can see, we saw that little cave system, and that's what we're going to head through. And obviously here I realize, oh, I don't need that in my offhand, to be honest. And then I just actually put it back there, which, to be honest, I have no idea about. Thinking about it now, it could have been for repairs, but we don't really repair things most of the time. As you'll see later, we do go at the end of this episode to the ender, but it's slightly silly. It's good to try something like this, but it just feels like it's not necessarily good. We needed iron, so we just farmed iron. We did farm one or two other resources, which you'll see in a moment, and I double checked places because I'm like, oh, maybe I was blind, maybe not, but at least I wasn't. We head through and we just do our best in this little cave system. Need to actually sort out all of our resources. We've got the infinite gold farm. I've been thinking, how can I work out an infinite diamond farm? So far there isn't anything besides the mining. On the other side of that, when the next version of Minecraft comes out, we're going to basically update to it, and we're probably currently going to expand the world border by 1,500 blocks for the new blocks. Now that does not give us a guarantee, because I don't really want to make the world larger, but if that's what we're doing, then we can obviously actually survive the fact that we'll need more resources and more mining. That's kind of what I've thought, and that's where our diamond supply would come from, our future diamond supply. I just want to do it a different way. And thinking about it, we're going to hopefully one day have the villagers that have diamond trades for us, because we have the villager breeder. And for that note, I'm going to be adjusting the villager breeder because it needs a little bit of help. What it needs is at the end of the rail line where they drop down and they get sorted by us. Basically, what we need to do is set up another way to collect them. and I've thought about it. It will probably be something like one little area where they dropped from a minecart, and there they can actually take a look at what villages it is, one by one, because we can use the minecarts as well, because they're going to go into a hopper system there that we can collect them from. That is basically the idea. And as you can tell, I sometimes fail at placing torches to stop water, but there it goes. Yes, it's kind of something that I thought about over and over, and yes, we probably don't need a million adjustments, and that farm will adjust in the future as well. Next up, when we're finishing up the cave system, I just go, I suppose I should sort out this iron. I take a look around, see what we have. Seeing as we're basically close to finished, what we're going to do is just grab the gold, because gold is also useful for us. But now it's time to start hitting up, and that happens to just be something that we don't have to go back for, because I'm like, might as well just go a little bit further. That's what I keep doing, and that's why some of these cave trips end up being super duper long. Then I drop down and find a little bit more iron. And I'm like, as you'll see soon, I pretty much wonder constantly as I'm doing this, how much do I have? And I look over and over, but mostly in the videos don't. Well, the snippets of the videos, I suppose. But that doesn't really matter for us. What we just need to do is get hoppers to finish the smeltery, because we're going to need a lot more of the nether brick. And for that reason, we just go, let's just go and do the slightly difficult cave adventure. And as you can see, I always fail with the offhand. Well, whoopsie, but we'll survive. I'm pretty sure we'll survive. I do also look at other resources, like I look at the redstone and go, ooh, redstone is useful, but I'm like, actually don't want to take too much, because that is already too much. Like I said, and then we're going to be heading up, but I take the slightly difficult route where we haven't been before, and this creeper doesn't like us or the skeleton that shot him, which is okay. They can blow up, we can take some damage. We just needed to be careful. I just forgot. I kind of needed to work out how to sort this out to get up. I should have gone the same way as I did before, but I didn't, so I feel like I wasn't smart. Yet another creeper, and yet another skeleton. It's slightly funny hitting caves that aren't near our base, because where we live in this world, it is more difficult than over here. But it's kind of slightly funny for the creepers blowing everything up, because I don't really mind. It's kind of safe, and it's kind of silly. Yes. Now, the reason that we needed to sort out the smeltery for the Nether hub is because I actually want to use a lot of netherrack. I kind of don't know exactly what we're going to be doing, and as you could see in those little snippets, we have a lot of iron, but we just make sure we're getting enough. And it's funny going a different way to get to the surface, because I got lost and got lost and got lost and got lost, but that doesn't really matter. And on the final side, I also found this. Yes, that is a spawner. And I'm like, ooh, wonder what it is. We found a zombie spawner. Wasn't really any good resources for us, but I just left it because I was like, what seeds are those? They're melon seeds? Yeah, that would be useful, but we're just going to leave it for now. And thinking about it, I didn't need to stay and fight the skeleton. I could have just continued. But you know me, I always have delays. Constant delays. That's my life. Pretty much. Hello, iron. There we go. And then, when we've got enough iron, we head back. And now it's time to start using the smeltery. So, we head down here, and we double check what we can do. Because we need to start actually finishing it by getting iron. So we chuck in the 3 stacks plus 6, I think it was. No, maybe 8. I don't remember. I can look it up, but I don't feel like it. We can just stick those in and start smelting. And there we go. And I come back and sleep over and over. And as you can see, I accidentally showed chunk borders and hid them and wrote down some coordinates. I don't remember what they were for, but it's something that we'll just survive with. I figure it doesn't really matter that we sometimes look for coordinates in our world. But first off, we're going to need quite a few chests. So we start off with a few, which happens to be 2, because we're going to start setting up the system. Setting up. I was about to say the wrong thing. And there we go, that goes into the middle. Next, we need iron. And looking at the furnaces, we can get 7, 7, 7. And 6. Okay, it was 6, not 8. Whoopsie. Perfect. And I just work out 25 means 5. So we make 5 chests, and I keep missing them. There we go. I don't need to use the left hand pane, the left hand side, I guess, but I always do, as you know. But there we go. That starts that part of our smeltery. Now we can actually use it when I actually jump up correctly. The next thing is let's start testing the minecart. And the answer is nope. Do you know what I actually forgot? The carts used to come back for absolutely no reason. But now what they do is slightly different. And it's good that that didn't smelt, because I'm going, ooh, I didn't want that. I did not want that. Whew. But this is what we do. We make it go up, and then I'm like, we need a block here. So it might as well be bricks, because that fits the style over here. But let's just put the cart back. And because that's a brick, I'm like, let's light it up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now we can move on to the next step. We can just chuck our iron in. As you saw, we sort of finished most of the smelter. It's time to just finish off the next set of steps. This is the other resource that we were saying we were going to use, and for that reason I make millions of sticks. I waste a lot of wood, but that's okay. Next we start working on the Nether hub again, but I get rid of some stairs and I set up some stairs. And that is where we're going to be leaving it today. There are going to be a few more clips, but that is the final side of today's episode. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a good time, and I hope these projects went well.
infinite power.